Welcome to the Charlie Stubbs Show, featuring the head coach of the Nicholls State University football team, Charlie Stubbs. Today's program is presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. The Charlie Stubbs Show is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And by People's Health, your Medicare health team. Good afternoon and welcome to the Charlie Stubbs Show presented by State Farm. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. The Nicholls Colonels opened up Southland Conference play last Saturday, hosting the Northwestern State Demons in the annual NSU Challenge. The question was, which Nicholls team would come to play? Would it be the squad that didn't back down against Oregon and defeated FBS program Western Michigan on the road, or would it be the battered and bruised version that struggled against Louisiana Lafayette and let a pair of sub-D1 programs hang around? That question was answered and answered definitively. We're joined now by the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. Congratulations on the victory, sir.
Thank you very much.
A huge win for the program. It's been a long time in coming, and this one was decided, it seemed, very early.
Well, we came out and played well in all three phases, and we're pretty dominant the first half. Just as you mentioned earlier, through the season, the first 5 games, I felt like we learned a whole lot. We had our ups and downs, more ups and downs, really. We also played some real competitive games, too, which helped us in those kind of crunch situations. But again, I was pleased, and it was a very good, solid conference win, conference opener. And again, now we just have to take it 1 week at a time.
Considering what these players have endured over the last couple of years, for them to put together a game like they did against Northwestern State to open up Southland Conference play, really a testament to sticking to the game plan, so to speak.
Well, that's just like the seniors that I have right now. They've been with me all the way, in 4 years, and ups and downs. Some of them started as true freshmen, and so we've again had some challenges, but I commend those guys and all their hard work, and it's paying off. And again, last year, you have all kinds of injuries, and we're still facing them this year. The biggest thing that I guess the difference is that when we do face an injury or somebody else is picking up, and make it a play here or there, or just their quality of play is improving. So, again, a lot of good things, a lot of things to build on.
Well, John L. Guidry Stadium, Saturday afternoon. Let's take a look. This Colonel squad was ready to go. Byron Cobb and the Colonels were focused, ready to put 2 years of Southland Conference frustration behind them. Both teams entered with a 3-2 mark. This series has seen some terrific games over time. 20 previous matchups in Thibodaux. Both teams had won 10. 13 of those games decided by a touchdown or less. Nicholls quarterback Toscani Figaro coming off a school record 281 rushing yards 2 weeks ago. This time Nicholls got it done in other ways. The opening drive goes 13 plays, 11 of them on the ground. Here's Marcus Washington with a 7-yard gain to the Demon 37 and mixing it up with the opposition afterward. A 75-yard drive consumes over 7 minutes of clock. Washington with the last laugh here. The score from 2 yards out preceded a failed point after, but Nicholls established the tone as they ran the ball down the throats of the Demons. Northwestern State's first possession, 3rd and 2 at the Nicholls 45. Robert Walker coughs it up as Jordan Hanbury knocks it loose. Chris Lorden falls on it. That was the longest drive of the half for Northwestern State, and they got nothing out of it. The Colonel defense has been much maligned against the run, but they allowed just 184 yards on the ground in this one. The Colonel's subsequent drive stalls. Connor Friou boots it away, and it's Byron Cobb there to down it. A dangerous Demon special teams score was really held in check on Saturday. Colonels would force a 3-and-out, and Nicholls led it 6-0 heading into the second quarter. Figaro here showing he's not just a wildcat. A 30-yard touchdown pass to Thibodaux native Damon Bolt caps a 5-play, 57-yard drive. It's 13-0 Colonels. Bolt with a career-high 5 catches on a personal best 78 yards. He had 102 all-purpose yards in this one. Again, Northwestern State goes 3-and-out. Figaro airs it out to Eric Buchanan, returning after a 3-game absence, and the big play threat draws the flag for pass interference. This was a heck of a drive, too. 15 plays, 69 yards, 7 minutes and 58 seconds. And it was because of third down conversions like this. On 3rd and 5 from the 20, Figaro hits Kerry Fortin. His only catch of the day was good for 9 yards. Nicholls dominated on 3rd down on both sides of the ball. The Red and Gray get it down to the 1, and this much improved offensive line clears space for Washington. Marcus ran it 23 times for 77 yards. The Colonels up 20-0 with under 5 minutes to go before halftime. They weren't done, though. The Demons had to punt it again. Nichols got the ball back at their own 45. They had almost 3 minutes to drive the field, and they wouldn't need it. First play, Figaro hitting Buchanan as he broke free. The 55-yard connection. It is 27-0 Nichols at the end of the first half. Domination from start to finish.
Well, it was very solid, and I know I was asked at halftime, what I was most pleased with, and it was really I was most pleased with our defense, because, again, they've been challenged a lot this year and faced some criticism, but the biggest thing, they just got to stay at it because it is a team game, and it's good that they did some nice things, and then special teams was adequate. And then, of course, offense, the biggest thing that we've been able to do, at least in this game, was control that time of possession and scoring at the same time. When you do that, these offenses that want to run a lot of snaps, they're standing on the sideline, and that's what we were able to do the first half.
And just from a control and a tempo and a really just a possessive standpoint, the Colonels dictated the pace of this game from the very get-go.
Yeah, that was part of the plan, and that's we got a lot of offenses in this conference that try to play that fast-paced tempo, but the biggest, best thing for our defense is just for our offense to be out on the field scoring touchdowns.
Mentioned it, third down in this one, and the Colonels converted time after time. But as you mentioned, the defense as well. I believe you forced 6 3-and-outs in this game. That's pretty good.
That is really good. That was really good. And then, like I say, with them doing that, and then on the offense, we converted 65% of our third down conversions, which is very high. And then we had 1 4th down we went for, and we converted that one. So when you do those kind of things, you do have a chance of winning.
Well, the Colonels had a good chance. Over the last 2 years, Nichols had led 3 times in the second half of Southland play, only to let it slip away each time. Even with a 27-point lead, nothing is safe in the Southland Conference. So we'll take you to the third quarter of play. The Demons get the ball first. A silly penalty gives them good field position. And on the first play here, Robert Walker breaks one off for 54 yards. By far the longest play of the day for the visitors. A face mask penalty gives Northwestern State the ball at the Colonel 3. This one had the potential to change here in a hurry. Garrett Atzenweiler would take it home from there, his 3rd score of the season, and Northwestern State is on the board. Now, Nichols responds here with a nice drive, and it was good to see, highlighted by a circus one-handed catch by Marcus Washington. And again, the Colonels eat up clock. They get it down to the Demon 18-yard line, and they've got a chance to put a few points on the board here. Andrew Dolan comes out to attempt a 35-yard field goal, but unfortunately he would wind up pushing it wide right. After this, it remained 27-7 in favor of Nichols, but again, a lot of time ran off the clock on that drive. The defense once more forces a 3-and-out. Nichols starts from their 30, and they give it to Washington 5 times on this drive. He picks up 19 yards here. The Colonels ran it 54 times on the afternoon against 27 pass attempts. First and goal now at the 4, and it's Marcus Washington again. His career-high 3rd touchdown run coming with about a minute left in the third quarter. The extra point fails, but the Colonels are up 33-7, and Northwestern State would spend the rest of the day in vain trying to catch up. Fourth quarter, Bo Hebert in for Figaro, fumbled it over to the Demons. That set up this Daniel Taylor 10-yard touchdown run, his 3rd of the year. It's 33-14 with almost the entire quarter remaining. The defense making Northwestern State work, though. Zach Atkins, their quarterback, sacked back at his own 11 by Chris Berman and Eric Trench. Atkins just 13 of 26 for 100 yards on the day, mainly ineffective. He would connect here with tight end Tucker Nims for a 31-yard pickup down to the Nichols 12, longest pass play allowed by the Colonels. Closing in on the 4-minute mark now. It's Atkins on the sneak here, and he is in the end zone. Curiously, the Demons didn't go for 2 or attempt an onside kick. The extra point instead made it 33-21, and that's as close as it would get. After 2 years in Natchitoches, the trophy now resides here in Thibodaux. Nichols knocks off Northwestern State. The Colonels are 4-2 and own their first 3-game winning streak since 2007. Nichols controlled the ball for almost 42 minutes. Toscani Figaro's assault came through the air this time, 14 of 21 for a career-high 245 yards. Nichols held Northwestern State to 3 of 14 on 3rd down and forced those 6 3-and-outs. Davin Bovey led Nichols with 9 tackles. Byron Cobb finished with 8. Talk about Toscani Figaro. dubbed a wildcat, and deservedly so. The guy can run with the football. He showed in this game he can be a true quarterback. He can sit back in the pocket and make things happen with his arm as well.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. Last year, by far, he was just a runner back there at quarterback. And, we worked hard in the passing game with him. It didn't come natural at first, because in his high school days, he was just so much physically better than maybe some of the teams that he faced. But now he's starting to understand. He understands hot principles better. There's things that I definitely got to improve on with him. But again, he is now starting to become a real dual threat.
With all the injuries this year, you've used 4 quarterbacks. 3 of those have started a game. Yet, combined, 10 touchdown passes against just 4 interceptions. That's remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's what it's going to take for us to win more conference games and stay in the hunt here. So I tell them it's a quarterback-oriented offense, really. As the quarterback goes, we go. So we got to have very solid quarterback play.
First time the Colonels have opened up with a conference victory since 2007. You're at 4-2, 1-0 in league play. And this team right now has to feel like they can do pretty much anything.
Well, they feel positive. Again, we've already moved on to our next opponent. Biggest thing I try to remind them all the time is what got us to this point. It's hard work, it's film study, it's taking care of your body, doing all the things that you're supposed to do, in order to repeat it. And so if we ever start feeling real good about ourselves or starting to, cut corners, then we're going to come up on the short end of this. So, but we've got their attention. We coach them hard now. You wouldn't have thought in the meeting room that we won the football game. We're not abusive or nothing, but we do point out the things that we can definitely improve on.
Well, everything's going right so far. Folks, the Colonels hit the road this Saturday. We'll be in Nacogdoches for a Southland matchup with Stephen F. Austin. 2.5 hours of pregame coverage for you on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers. At 12:30, LA 106.3 Rock Hits Radio airs the Colonel Insider. They'll also carry the game live. At 2:30, it's a Colonel Countdown on our flagship station, KLRZ 100.3 FM in New Orleans and the Tri-Parishes. KLEB 1600 AM broadcast to South Lafourche and Grand Isle. They'll also begin coverage at 2:30, and both of those stations will carry the game live. Then at 3 o'clock, the Southland TV Network airs the contest. Check your local listings for an affiliate in your area. We'll be back with more of the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by State Farm, in a moment.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to contact your local State Farm agent.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's. You're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you with people's health.
We welcome you back to the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by State Farm. While Nichols claimed victory over Northwestern State in their Southland Conference opener last Saturday, there was other action on the docket. Second-ranked Sam Houston opened up their league slate with a 14-3 win over Lamar in Huntsville. The Cards have the Southland's #1 defense, and they held a potent Bearcats offense in check in the loss. Southeastern Louisiana started their Southland year by racking up 583 yards, a new season high, in a 56-14 win over Stephen F. Austin in Hammond. The Central Arkansas defense recorded a whitewash, and the Bears offense piled up 462 yards in a 31-0 victory over Nebraska Kearney in non-conference action in Conway. And in a battle of future Southland rivals, Abilene Christian wideout Taylor Gabriel had 174 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns as the Wildcats topped Houston Baptist 69-12 in Houston. Back here with you with the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. You get ready for this meeting in Nacogdoches against Stephen F. Austin coming up here on Saturday. What's the plan heading in?
Well, just like I say, all 3 phases have to show up, and that's the plan. And, you know, they throw the ball quite a bit. You know, I think one time this year they might have thrown it around 70 times. So it's going to be one of those long games, you know, where it's, you know, we got to be in great condition. You know, we can't, you know, I always tell them when we're playing any kind of game, it's really planned for a 4-quarter plus game, and that's what we expect. Again, on defense, we got to contain them, and when they do get errant with the throws, we got to pick it off. And then offensively, again, it's the same recipe as last week. If we can control the ball through the air and through the run, we'll be in good shape. And then in field goals, just like I said, the big concern from last week in special teams, one of the concerns was our place kicking. You know, on the field goals, you know, the missed field goal and then missed 2 extra points. And that's, I know, you know, Andrew Dolan is the player, but I know there isn't a more conscientious young man than that. You know, and I know that it's just a matter of just preparing. And he prepares very well, but sometimes it can get to be a little bit mental right now. But he's a very good kicker. I have every bit of confidence in him, and I'm sure he'll respond very well.
Take a look a little bit more at Stephen F. Austin. Junior running back Gus Johnson was the headliner for them last Saturday. 106 yards on the ground on 21 carries, his 5th 100-plus yard rushing performance of the year. Southeastern, though, scored 35 unanswered points during one stretch. SFA enters the weekend with the league's highest-ranked offense, but the lowest-ranked defense. Brady Attaway, their quarterback, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. SFA has the most turnovers in the league with 17, though they do have a very impressive win over a top 10 team in Montana State, a team that you just don't know what you're going to get, and that's good in a way, but it's also scary in a way.
Yeah, it's scary. I think, you know, you got to go in expecting their best, and we're going to have to play our best. We're going to have to bring our A game to win this football game, but we're excited. We're going in with a lot of momentum, you know, a lot of confidence, a lot of pride. And so I'm sure we'll show up and really be ready to play.
Now let's take a look at the Southland Conference standings and upcoming matchups. McNeese and Sam Houston both off to 5-1 starts. The top 10 teams meet in a critical conference matchup in Lake Charles on Saturday. Southeastern Louisiana versus Northwestern State. Big ball game for both teams there. Central Arkansas at Lamar as both clubs look for their first league victory. And of course, the Colonels visit Stephen F. Austin. Well, it's a good year to be a Colonel, and that goes for our past players as well. And one in particular recently was given the highest accolade of his very storied career. Amanda Kelly has more.
The first Colonel ever to get drafted into the NFL has received a once-in-a-lifetime honor. Gary Barbaro, a former defensive back for the Kansas City Chiefs, is the newest member of their Hall of Fame, an exclusive club that inducts just one member a year. The always humble Barbaro is appreciative, but also incredibly deserving of this distinction. It's hard to believe, but before his legendary collegiate career at Nichols, Barbaro only participated in 1 year of football at East Jefferson High School and the New Orleans suburbs.
Well, I came out of the marching band. I've played music since I was in the 5th grade, and I've been in marching bands. And when I got to high school, I was in the stage band, a concert band, and obviously the marching band. But I've always been a decent athlete, played recreation ball, but decided I wanted to take a chance at playing football my senior year. And so I went out and, I made the team. I wasn't a starter, but I did alternating time. So it was just an opportunity to play and get out there with the rest of my friends who were playing on the varsity.
His recruiting process was quite simple, considering Nichols was just starting their intercollegiate football program in the early 70s. Barbaro was a work in progress back then, but his experience at Nichols shaped him into the player he would become.
Having the opportunity to be a work in progress, because I was a classic late bloomer coming out of just 1 year of high school football. I had a lot of raw talent, but if I'd have gone to an LSU or a Tulane, they don't have time to develop somebody from a raw state. So going to Nichols was a perfect fit for me because we kind of grew together. I bounced around from defensive back to quarterback to wide receiver, and ultimately ended up being a defensive back, a cornerback my last 2 years. So I actually grew with the program. So if I'm not at Nichols, my career probably doesn't happen.
Kansas City selected Barbaro in the third round of the 1976 draft. Coming from a small university, it was a big step for him, but he proved to handle it well.
I was just, blessed to have that opportunity and fortunate enough to take advantage of it. And as I mentioned, once I got up to Kansas City, I had a great defensive backfield coach that taught me how to play free safety in the NFL. So, but I didn't feel any pressure other than the fact that, either you perform or you're gone when you're in the NFL. So I was blessed to have that opportunity and take advantage of it.
Though the Chiefs were in a rebuilding phase when Barbaro came aboard, he stuck with them through 7 seasons, earning Pro Bowl honors in 1980, 81, and 82. Over the course of his career, Barbaro intercepted 39 passes, one which he returned for a 102-yard touchdown, tying an NFL record that stood for 10 more years. Barbaro retired from pro football in 1984. He was long ago inducted into the Nichols Athletics Hall of Fame. Prior to the Chiefs game against the Giants on the final weekend in September, he entered the pantheon of all-time Kansas City greats, an award he never expected.
I didn't believe it. It's been 31 years since I last played in Kansas City. And I always knew I had the statistics. If you look at, my credentials based on what other people, I figured I belonged there. But when I left Kansas City after, my 7 seasons there, it was not a pretty departure. There was a lot of rift between management and players. And I ended up opting to go out and go to the USFL, a new league that was just coming on. So there were some hard feelings there that I think had to be overcome. So when I got the phone call from Clark Hunt, who was the president and CEO, I was ecstatic. I really was.
Gary and his family reside in Metairie, Louisiana, outside of New Orleans, and he is a partner in a food service equipment company. He keeps connected to football as a uniform and licensed apparel inspector for Saints home games, and is still involved in Nichols athletics, participating in events such as the John Brady Golf Classic, where we caught up with him for the story. Barbaro has made it to the top, but he's always remembered where it all started, right here at Nichols. For the Charlie Stubbs Show, I'm Amanda Kelly.
Hi, my name is Chuck Epela, recruiting coordinator at Nichols State University. We'd like to give you some recruiting tips that can help you in your recruiting process. Our recruiting tip for today is about official visits. What is an official visit, and what are the requirements needed for an official visit? What is an official visit? An official visit is an on-campus visit by a student athlete where all the expenses are paid for by the university. There are 4 requirements needed prior to taking an official visit. First, the student athlete must provide a transcript to the visiting institution. Secondly, the student athlete must provide a test score that was taken on a national testing date. Thirdly, the student athlete must be placed on the institution's IRL, which stands for Institutional Request List. And lastly, they must be registered with the NCAA Eligibility Center. Hopefully, these recruiting tips can help you in your recruiting process.
Thank you, Coach Epela. Folks, there are plenty of ways to keep up to the minute with Nichols Athletics. Find our new page at Instagram.com/KolonelSports. We're at YouTube.com/NicholsAthletics, Facebook.com/GoKolonels, and Twitter.com/KolonelSports. This is a Charlie Stubbs Show presented by State Farm.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to contact your local State Farm agent.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you with people's health.
We welcome you back to the Charlie Stubbs Show presented by State Farm. Time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. Rouse's supermarkets are local with their roots established in Thibodaux in 1923. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week it's freshman outside hitter Kayla Mashburn, who paced the Nichols volleyball team with a 4.46 kills per set average. The native of Richland Hills, Texas, hit .232 and was a top kill producer in all 3 matches. Mashburn was also a key away from the net. She earned a double-double in all 3 matches as well. Let's take a look at what's going on this weekend. The men's tennis team at the ITF Futures event in Mansfield, Texas, while the women compete at the ITA Central Regional Championship at Auburn. Tonight at 6:30, the volleyball team plays host to Oral Roberts. Tomorrow, soccer is at Northwestern State, looking to build on their double-digit win total. On Saturday, men's and women's cross country at the Choctaw Open in Clinton, Mississippi, while volleyball hosts Central Arkansas. And on Sunday, the soccer team back in action at Stephen F. Austin. Here with the head coach of the Colonels, Charlie Stubbs. You meet Stephen F. Austin this Saturday. I don't want to look too far ahead. I know you don't either. If the Colonels can pull this thing off, 2-0, heading into a matchup with McNeese at home, things are starting to get serious now.
Well, the biggest thing is, it's not just coach talk. I got to stay focused on the task at hand. We got to have a great week of preparation. We got to get some of the young men back from all the bumps and bruises and all the things, because that can decimate a team at this level right now. So we're always crossing our fingers with that. But also, we got to execute. I told them the reason we win in games is we're making plays too. And so that's what it takes. You got to execute. You got to make plays. And I really feel like the last few games, the Colonels haven't beat the Colonels. And as long as we can keep it that way, in the way of just not turning the ball over or giving, you're going to have your 1 or 2, but not being catastrophic. And of course, no pre-snap penalties, and we're minimizing those now. We're not perfect, but we're getting better at that. And then we're finishing in the red zone better offensively for sure. And defensively, he's doing a pretty good job there also. So again, there's a lot to prepare for. But again, we're excited to play, and that is the goal, to win this football game.
Coach, I know you've had to endure some things over the past couple of years. You're stuck with the game plan. You're not where you want to be yet, but we can see it coming, and we hope it stays on that track here. Congratulations again on the victory over Northwestern State. Folks, that's going to do it for today's program. We want to invite you to check out our website, GoColonels.com. That's GEAUX, GoColonels.com, for all of the latest info on Nichols Athletics. We'll talk to you again next week on the Charlie Stubbs Show, presented by State Farm. The Charlie Stubbs Show has been presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And by People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.